racing to the massive roar of the crowd. Lady of Camelot, a spectacular win in the Golden Slipper. Chain of Lightning, Bella Nipotina. Chain of Lightning's won the TJ. Bella Nipotina wins the Everest. A thriller there at the end.
With Tim Gilbert and Julie Snook, this is Racing Dreams.
Oh, with a brand new opener, brand new vision, and we are
the same old faces.
Pretty in pink, sort of half. Good to see you. How are you, Jules?
Good morning, Timmy. I'm well, thank you. It is lovely to be here for another season of Racing Dreams. It is officially the first day of autumn.
Absolutely is.
So the Autumn Carnival must be just around the corner. Huge show coming up. Let's take a look. We catch up with superstar jockey James McDonald ahead of this Autumn Carnival.
The rags to riches story. Oh, this is a beauty, isn't it? Up the Central Coast of New South Wales, the story of Shaggy.
What a story it is. And we go into the mounting yard with former jockey and sky racing expert Corey Brown for his insight into the pick of the yard.
But first up today, Daily Telegraph journalist Shano Cass. He's in the house. He's in the studio. Shano.
Special occasion when Shane's in the house.
Trackside, this is where the magic happens. The bright lights of racing.
Absolutely. And we've got a huge day of racing, of course. We've got some two really pivotal two-year-old races and brilliant racing right across the card.
Absolutely. I think the Golden Slipper picture, which is a fog at the moment, guys, so we don't really have a standout horse this year. It could become a little bit clearer today. I know you've got a piece on Shaggy. I think everybody would love to see Shaggy win. That really would be a fairy tale if Alan Kehoe could knock over, the powerhouses of the Wallers and the Waterhouses of this world. But look, it's anyone's slipper at the moment, but it's going to get very interesting after today.
Well, some great news. We saw Tommy Berry back in the saddle last night. He's back racing today as well.
It was good to see because Tommy had that bad fall just before Australia Day at Randwick, and it looked like he was going to be out for certainly the early part of the spring. But as it turned out, he made a pretty remarkably quick recovery, and so much so that he rode a winner last night at Canterbury. So it was great to see because he's one of the great guys of the sport, really popular jockey. Punters love him, trainers love him. So that was excellent to see Tommy back.
Absolutely. We're going to catch up with James McDonald on the show today on Via Sistina, and he rode a winner last night.
He did indeed, yeah. Doesn't he cover some miles, J-Mac? I know he spoke to him before he went off to Saudi Arabia. He's been to Hong Kong and back a few times so far this year, but he'll be at Randwick today chasing more Group 1s because if J-Mac has an ambition, it is to become the best Group 1 rider in the world ever, and he's probably going to do it before too long. So he's got two chances to do it today in the Very Elegant and also in the Surround, and he's on the favourite in both of them.
Imagine his frequent flyer points at this point in time too, because he's
Don't think he needs it.
That's a good point. He's on a flight overseas every day. Let's take a look at that Very Elegant Stakes. Of course, it would mean a lot to J-Mac and to Chris Waller as well to get up in this race.
Absolutely, because this was formerly the Chipping Norton Stakes. Used to be run at Warwick Farm. It was
Very Elegant
the Very Elegant Stakes. And, it's such an important horse to James McDonald because of all the things that James McDonald's done, this was the horse that gave him his Melbourne Cup, his first Melbourne Cup, and Chris Waller also. And she was a great mare. She won 11 Group 1s. J-Mac was there for 9 of them. So, we remember him for a lot of horses that he's riding at the moment, but this is a very, very special horse to J-Mac. And I know when she passed away unexpectedly, he shed a tear, literally, and Chris Waller did as well. So it'd mean an awful lot to both Chris Waller and J-Mac if they can win, and they're a big chance to do it because they're with Via Sistina, who's a Cox Plate winner, record-breaking Cox Plate winner. They've just got to beat the stablemate Fangirl.
What about this precocious Laney Shenandoah, favoured in the Surround Stakes? She's beautiful.
It is amazing to think how many good horses Chris Waller's had over the years, particularly of the female persuasion. I mean, he lost Autumn Glow for last year's carnival, and then Lady Shenandoah steps up. I mean, he seems to have a never-ending supply of really good horses. She's one of the shortest price favourites to win this race since More Joyous. She does look to have a mortgage on the race. Only the great uncertainty of racing, Timmy, I think could get her beat. But she's such a good filly. She was so dominant in the light fingers. And it's another case of if they don't beat her today, I don't think they'll beat her again.
And of course, let's chat about the two-year-olds. We touched on them just a moment ago, but it's such an interesting time of year when the babies are coming through. We've got the Skyline Stakes for the Colts and Geldings. Let's start with that.
Okay, well, Shaggy is the speed horse in the race, and
he's a nugget too.
He's a very quick horse. He was a very cheap. Well, he was passed in at the sales. He's retained by his breeders who actually won a country championship. But they look like they've got a horse who, if he can sustain that pressure, he might be able to win a Golden Slipper. But we're going to find out today because he's got to go 1,200. He's going to come under a siege the whole way out, a long way out, and he's got to be able to hang on. Now, if he can hang on, he's a Golden Slipper horse. If he gets beaten today, I think they have to have a little bit of a reassessment. But, he's there, and if he draws an alley in the Golden Slipper, He's a red-hot chance.
Yeah, he's got a good gate today. The Sweet Embrace, Bjorn Baker's coming on the show shortly. He's a chance.
He is a chance, but Gay Waterhouse has declared the race is over, which is unlike Gay Waterhouse. So she saddles up a horse called Belzane, who, to her credit, Belzane did beat Baywalk last start, and Baywalk has proven the form by winning the Silver Slipper. So Gay, as confident as she is, she might well be right again, because Belzane is very, very quick, and I suspect the track is going to play quick today and play for horses up front.
At this stage, we do have a little bit to play out, obviously, but who would you say is the front runner for the Slipper at this stage?
I think it has to be Woden. He's the Chris Waller trained.
What kind of price is he at the moment?
He's about 280 favourite, which is short enough. But look, when you look at the way that he won on debut, he didn't beat a great deal, but he beat them very easily. And although beaten last start, I mean, it was the barrier that did him in. He was 3 wide the whole way and still ran the fastest, like 600 of the race. So he's a serious horse, and he's the one that I think you'd want to be on at the moment.
A lot of people watch this segment to have their pen and paper ready to write down a horse that has a little bit of odds to it, a little bit of flavour, that might just get them a free meal on a Saturday night.
Right.
Do you have something that is a juicy odds today
It's a hell of a
to
build-up.
offer to our viewers?
It's a hell of a build-up.
Well, that's what I'm about. I'm about the build-up.
Well,
You're about the
okay.
delivery.
All right, it's either a cheese on toast or a slap-up Chinese meal, because I'm going in the last, a horse called Madatsu, trained by who else than Chris Waller. It was pretty disappointing first up, but he's a big second-up
Madatsu.
improver. I think he can win.
What kind of price?
Oh, he'd be well into double figures.
Ooh, Madatsu.
Just before we let you go, of course, tributes this week we've lost one of the good guys this week, haven't we, in the industry, in Michael Moroney.
Absolutely, yeah. I had a little bit to do with Mike over the years, just calling him up to get his thoughts on horses. And he was a champion bloke and a champion trainer as well. He had a Melbourne Cup winner. Very few people get to reach that height, but he was always forthcoming with his time. He always told the truth. If he did like a horse, he'd tell you. If he didn't, he'd tell you that too. So he was a great bloke, Michael, and had a lot of friends in the business, both sides of the Tasman. A very humble man, and a great loss for racing.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Shane, changing pace. Thanks for coming on the program, and it's great to have you in the studio.
It's great to be here.
Thank you, Shano. Well, we've mentioned his name multiple times already this morning in the brief minutes that we've been on air. When trainers are looking for jockeys, there is one name that stands out above all. That would be J-Mac, James McDonald.
And he's a great bloke, Jules. The 2024 World Jockey of the Year with Very Elegant Stakes Day today at Randwick. I thought it was only fitting to catch up with J-Mac at Randwick ahead of another huge autumn.
Stakes, Very Elegant the favourite, the light blinks and we're ready to run. Set. Racing, Prince Fawaz hopped out well, so did Colette wide out. It's Colette and Very Elegant, the two great mares, and Avilius the outside. Very Elegant and Colette, what a race! Avilius the outside trying to beat the pair of them, but no! Very Elegant, brave, Very Elegant, beat Colette and Avilius.
What a race, what a mare. Very Elegant has out-muscled them.
The great association with Very Elegant, and for her to have a race named in her honour is really, really special. So it's been a race that's been so good to us, and we've associated with some really good racehorses in that particular race, so looking forward to it.
Formerly known as the Chipping Norton, she won it twice, you've run it 4 times.
Yeah, like I say, it's been a great race. Animo, was a sensational racehorse. I think Fangirls won it. So, yeah, brilliant racehorses that have competed in it, and it's always a good stepping stone to greater things in the autumn.
You've had some great autumns in the past. I could wind the clock back probably a decade to It's a Done Deal. That was a remarkable autumn.
Yeah, that was the year. Basically, it's hard to believe it's over a decade now, because it only felt like yesterday, but it's been a whirlwind sort of decade. He's the one that really catapulted probably my Sydney career.
It's a Done Deal has run to the front. Sacred Falls is coming after him. He's coming fast, but It's a Done Deal is hanging on grimly. He peaks when it counts. It's a Done Deal beats Sacred Falls and Carlton House.
James McDonald wins yet another Group 1 as this outstanding young rider continues his rise to fame.
Incredible horse. He's obviously off to stud now, and he's doing a remarkable job in the breeding barn, so it's great to follow his career.
Moss Fun is next, and down the outside Memorial's running on. Moss Fun's kicking back on the inside. Earthquake's dying in a run, and Moss Fun right along the rail has won it from Earthquake.
That was your last Golden Slipper. It's about time to win another one, do you think?
Yeah, I'm hoping this is the year. At the moment, touch wood, we've got a really good chance at the moment, but you never know with two-year-old racing. It's such a high pressure sort of racing where things can go wrong. So we're just hoping Wooten gets there in fine fettle, and he's got to go through his traditional lead-ups and pass them with flying colours. But at the moment, he looks the horse.
Wotan surges up on the outside at the furlong and he quickly put them away. Up goes Wotan, gets away from the Magic Man, and with 100 metres to go after the slow start he recovers and he wins in style. Wotan brilliantly.
Yeah, he's a gorgeous horse. He does everything that we've asked of him. He just oozes a lot of quality, very silky horse, glides across the ground really well, and yeah, he's had a tailor-made preparation for a Golden Slipper.
Now, I know you don't do it for the awards and the prizes and everything else that goes with it, but to be named World Jockey of the Year again last year, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was really special. Had my family up there as well, so they got to enjoy that awards too. But yeah, it's obviously it's a testament to the horses that I've been riding. Via Sistina, Romantic Warrior, Voyage Bubble, Sunshine and Paris all contributed to that top 100 races in the world, and yeah, so I'm pretty lucky to be associated with them, and that enabled me to be in the hunt for World Jockey of the Year.
Finally, your thoughts on the Sydney Autumn? It just gets better and better.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and we've got some really nice horses. So we need a bit of luck during the days, but at this moment, looking in for the future, I reckon we're sitting really pretty. Touch wood, everything goes to plan, but yeah, I've got some really exciting horses, and hopefully they can show what they can do.
Sitting pretty indeed. Everything he touches turns to gold at the moment. It's just so amazing to see his success, particularly overseas. I think he's in for a great autumn.
Oh, absolutely, he always is.
Great
every
story.
trainer wants James McDonald on their horse.
Well, speaking of great, it's great to welcome back our friend Mark Brassel from Racing New South Wales. He's also in the studio.
How are you, mate?
I'm fantastic, but this seat's real warm. Who's been sitting in my chair?
Shano Cass did the job for you. Now, look, we have all this amazing racing. Huge day at Randwick today, of course, Via Sistina and Lady Shenandoah. Then we look at these two-year-old races. But also going on, and Racing New South Wales, there's so much going on. The Evergreen Turf Country Championships, the Provincial Midway Championships. Can you give us a little bit more insight into how they work and how they operate? Because it's exciting, and that's where a lot of racing dreams do come true.
Yeah, absolutely. 11th running of the Evergreen Country Championships. We welcome the new sponsors. The nuts and bolts of it, there's 7 regional qualifiers, $150,000 each. It goes right around the bush. You've got Central District, Southern, Mid-North Coast. It's spread right around. The first 2 qualifiers get a crack at the $1 million prize at Randwick on April 5. But there's also the 2 wildcards, which are a bit of a last chance saloon. So only the winner gets through, so that makes up the field of 16. You've got... I
love country racing too. I just absolutely love it. If you haven't been to a
country racing, you were best.
Yes,
From what I remember.
Julie's an aficionado of it.
Well, the beautiful thing about these, you look at joints like Wagga, Canamble, the reports from these sort of clubs, the town goes off. The accommodation, the cafes, bars, pubs, clubs, people go to see these good horses. And that's another thing. This is all about young, up-and-coming horses. A lot of people don't realise you can only have had 20 starts in your career or no more than 5 wins to qualify. So that way you get the real good, promising young country horses put on display in front of everybody. So it really works.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, it's a great concept.
And in saying that, so many stakes winners have come out of these races. Like, look at the first one back in 15, Art Lee. He won the race. A horse called Voodoo Lad ran third. Voodoo Lad went on to win a Group 1 and 7 Group stakes races. So that tells you the horses coming through, Clearly Innocent, Victorum, Noble Boy, all these horses have won stakes races. So it works.
Unbelievable.
All right, well, let's have a look at some of the qualifiers now, starting with the Mid-North Coast qualifier in Port Macquarie, which is what we are seeing here on your screen now, Brass.
Yep,
how did
right down the outside, Jules. The yellow sleeves and the red right out wide. That's Sumo Fish in the yellow sleeves and McKeon in the black and red, and they both qualify.
Brilliant.
That's Port Macquarie, yep.
Northern Rivers qualifier, that was held in Lismore. Let's take a look at that race. Who took out this
Now, the winner is 4 deep now in the stripes, the dark colours with the stripes. That's Tribeca Star. Back in the ruck, you'll see a pale blue colours.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably pretty unlucky. Now, I'm going to have to be very careful with this. It's called Fukubana. And I'll tell you what...
You only need to say it once. You did a very good job of saying that horse's name.
Race caller's nightmare.
And Lismore, Lismore itself has been through a very difficult time.
Yep.
And it's great to see.
Yep, absolutely. The previous year was called off, so great to see him bounce back.
Yeah, the track looks sensational as well.
And here you'll see it now. See the yellow sleeves. Alicia Collett pumping this through. Sun Chime. It'll get up just from on its inside is Cable Express in the maroon colours. They're both through.
Good crowd down there in the Shoalhaven as well. Absolutely.
Now, we had orange last night.
Did you have lemons too? Or?
I do have a lemon tree, I'll have you know.
Zariz Tycoon, is it called? Zariz Tycoon for Gaynor Williams. Yeah, it won the race, won clearly too. Don Stefano, Dean Murphin flew down the outside to get second. So they're both through. And we've got Wagga today.
Tomorrow.
Cannot wait.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the list of the qualifiers, the dates and locations. And look, if you're watching and you're in any of these places that are coming up, make sure you go. Of course, those early ones have already happened. Wagga happens today, being March 1.
Turn to the next page. Oh, Tamworth. Tamworth on March 9, then Canamble, Scone and Goulburn. Are they the 2 wild cards?
Yeah, that's right.
So Scone and Goulburn will be the wild cards. March 23.
They're actually broken into 2. There's a northern and a southern.
Yes.
But you must have run in one of the qualifiers to get into the wild card.
I asked Shane O'Cass this question. Do you have something today to help our viewers get a free meal tonight at their chosen local restaurant? Is there a horse today with a little bit of juice, a little bit of price that they can jump on?
Yes, absolutely. Future Fund in the Wagga Championships.
Future Fund, we're going
double figures. The one to beat is obviously Burundara, the favourite, but in a clumpy race, you could have thrown a tea towel over them the other day.
So what's its name?
Future Fund is mine.
Future Fund.
But the favourite, Burundana, ran about 4th, but in the same race, a lot of these horses running today, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th favourite, are in the same race. They've all drawn 15, 16, 17.
Okay.
So
go to Wagga.
So
Future Fund, and it's quite appropriate, the name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Future Fund.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you two are on fire this morning.
Good to see you, Brass.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be back.
Nice to see you, Brass. Stay with us. Coming off on Racing Dreams. What a story this is. A horse named Shaggy is gaining attention here in New South Wales. And Timmy, you catch up with him and his trainer.
Yeah, what a horse.
Welcome back. You are watching Racing Dreams, or a big day for a number of the 2-year-olds, the Colts and the Geldings in the Skyline and the Fillies in the Sweet Embrace.
Absolutely. One man who has a keen focus on the Sweet Embrace today is trainer Bjorn Baker, and he joins us now within the law. Nice price, about $6 odd. Bjorn, tell us why it's going to win or why she's going to win.
Yeah, morning. Lovely to be on, and I just think she's a very genuine filly. She's had 3 starts, 2 wins, and a very close second in a $2 million race. So I think she's going to get back. I think she'll hit the line hard, and she's a little bit different to I've got another very good 2-year-old filly, and she's just shows exceptional ability. Whereas within the laws, just very casual, laid back, only does what she needs, and she'll conserve her energy for late when she'll need it.
Does that sound like you, Bjorn? Is that how you
I'm
operate?
not sure. I'm not sure. I wish I was a little bit more like that. So
she won the English nursery, of course. She won the English nursery in December. What do you make of this field today? Because obviously the countdown is on to the big one, the Slipper. But what do you make of this field of the fillies?
It's a very tough field, I must say, and you look everywhere. There's good trainers. They're well bred. Of course, you got Memo, who I know pretty well because she was in the Magic Millions. She's a high class filly and came second that day. So definitely a tough race, but I do think that we've had the right grounding, and I think 1200 really suits our filly. A little bit further will be better for her.
Okay, and all right, well, I can't wait for both the 2-year-old races today. I think that we'll know a lot more, as Shane O'Cass said at the start, of how the Slipper's going to look after today. But what about Iona Merck, top weight in the Liverpool City Cup? I know you've got big thoughts on this horse.
Yeah, he's had a remarkable preparation. He's been running really well, and his last start was excellent in the Expressway Stakes, where he was just beaten. He's definitely back in grade today, and I think from gate one, he looks to get a lovely run just behind the speed. Walado will probably lead, and he's been a bit of a revelation. He's not the biggest, strongest horse, but we don't have to do too much with him. We just keep him happy, and I must say, I've got three. He's got a younger brother and a younger sister. So there's Iona Merck. Then there's Iona Benz, and a horse that won last Sunday that's running on Wednesday is called I Stole a Merc. Oh. So I must say, I know them all now, but they're a family that just keep improving, and I think he can run very well today. I own a Merc.
I own a Merc. Oh, they are great names.
Oh, I love that. Now, Arapaho, 100 to 1 or thereabouts, but hard not to put in your multiples in the Very Elegant Stakes. A horse that always tends to be up there.
He's actually, he's really underrated. He shouldn't be 100 to 1. You can't go into this race confident against Via Sistina and Fangirl, two of, if not the best horses in the country. But he's a high-class performer on his own merit, and I actually think he's going really well. He was very good last time. He's fifth. He wasn't beaten too far by these horses, and up to a mile. And if they go a lot quicker today, which I think they will, he's definitely going to be a little bit better. So you can't go in confident, but stranger things have happened in racing, and I think he's some hope at a big price. Definitely some hope to run in the money.
Geez, you'd hope you got on him at 100 to 1. He's already in at 51 now, so fingers crossed after this he'll keep on moving. A couple of chances in the get-out stakes in the last at Randwick today too, Bjorn.
Yeah, I think so. I think Suasive, he's going for 5 in a row, but he's stepping up to Saturday grade, so it's definitely another step for him, but he's in great order. He looks magnificent, and he's running accordingly, so he's got to be a chance. And I think Father's Day is definitely hope as well. He's very good second. He's had a wee bit of time between runs, but he's a big horse that takes a bit of getting fit, and he's going super, so he's some hope as well.
We all love the autumn. So many wonderful races. Canterbury Stakes coming up next week, and Steffi Magnetica, one of the stars of your stable.
Yeah, and I've got some big news, guys. On Wednesday is my Australian citizenship ceremony.
Oh, wow.
And I'm hoping Steffi Magnetica could be my first one as an Australian.
Oh, Bjorn Baker,
and a Wallaby
Aussie
supporter who goes to the Australian cricket team now, everything.
I'd support the Wallabies anyway. Look, supporting the Aussie cricket team is going to be a big jump for me. So I might have to get a bit of counselling with that one.
Well, that's very exciting, and congratulations to you, because that's, I'm sure, a very special time for you and the family. Before we let you go, though, how's your mate Overpass? What's he up to this spring?
Yeah, he's. It seems like he's been around forever.
Autumn,
He's
I should say.
a stable. Yeah, he's a stable stalwart for Derby and Iron, the connections, and he's coming up nicely. We may even look at the TJ Smith, the first day of the championships, early April. So he's going to trial next week, but he is a very special horse for all involved, and I think he's going as well, if not better than ever.
Yeah, great horse. All right, Bjorn, thanks. I know you've got a busy day. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bjorn.
Now, as a dual Melbourne Cup winner, Corey Brown is one of Australia's great jockeys. There's days you'll find him out of the saddle. These days you'll find him out of the saddle with a microphone in his hand.
He
Jules.
doesn't mind a mic in his hand either. Corey's a regular fixture on Sky Racing. You'll see him giving his pre-race selections each Saturday at Rosehill Randwick, and I caught up with him to understand what he's looking for in the lead up to the race and how he goes about pick of the yard.
It's just such a good feeling when you get on a horse and they know they're racehorses. They act different to the horse. It's just a little bit plain. They know they're good, and when you get out there, you can feel that goodness coming out in them. Always love to see Animo. When he turned up in the enclosure, it's just one of those horses. He was a magnificent looking horse to start with, but his attitude, you just knew when he walked in that enclosure he owned it. Quite often he'd kick up at a fence and you could hear the fence clapping with his heels, but yeah, again, when he walked in the enclosure he had a real presence about him. He was a show pony, but yeah, just his attitude, I loved it.
No, he looks an absolute treat here today, Ronnie, as he has his previous runs. He just looks really tight, really fit.
When I was obviously first started riding, there wasn't a lot of syndications, so there wasn't, you know, these big groups of owners, so you listen to the trainer, and you know, every now and again you'd get an owner like a Jack Ingham or someone like that give you a little bit of advice, and for sure you'd take it on board. But with these bigger syndicates, they all, you know, it's quite funny sometimes you see them, they all want to put their little bits, you know, their 2 bobs worth in, but it's great for racing. The yard was probably the easiest part, you know, like you got on, and obviously if they were a little bit keen, you try and relax them down, or the opposite way around, if they were a little bit quiet, you try and spark them up a little bit, give them a good canter around. But the time for me, like especially in the big races, when the butterflies started to happen, was as soon as they started yelling out the barrier numbers and when you're getting ready to walk up. So the goggles went on, the game face went on, and yeah, that's when you start to feel a little bit nervous. I love Jason Collett. I just love the way that he rides. I love his patience. I call him the sniper. He sits back and just picks the eyes out of everything, and his timing is unbelievable. His body language on a horse, I think, you know, something that all young jockeys should watch and learn from. But yeah, even when he gets up on board in the enclosure, he just becomes part of the horse. So it's Jace Collett for me. Horses first up, I always take a good notice around their belly area, basically. If you can see a few ribs, you know that they've been screwed down and they've got a lot of work in them. But if you can't really see their ribs, or a couple of their ribs, you know that they might need the run. So that's probably one of my biggest bits of advice that I could give. But again, I just keep going back to horses that can relax and keep their cool in the enclosure, and then once the jockey gets up on board, if you see him come to life, you know you've got one on your hands. You can see horses get up onto the toe and look interested, but you can see horses that just get into the enclosure and they start sweating, a lot of nervous energy running through them. I just don't like to see them burning that nervous energy before they get out in the track, because they can run their race before they actually get up onto the track, and that's one thing that I don't like to see.
OK, Corey, who did you settle on?
I ended up settling on Rush Attack. I know that he started to get a little bit hot after sort of his last lap of the enclosure there, but when he walked in, he really took my eye. He's a bit of a standout. He's drawn soft. He should get the absolute dream run there for young Zach Lloyd. But again, when he walked in the enclosure, he was great, but it is hot, so it's expected for him to sweat up.
It's a wonder late on the scene from Meadow keeps fighting, but Rush Attack 3 wide the trip wins.
Well, one man that knows all about 2-year-olds, of course, is James Harron from James Harron Bloodstock. He's the absolute guru. He had Capitalist win almost 10 years ago, the Golden Slipper. That set him on the course, and he's actually joining us right now. He's at the Inglis Premier Sale, and he's got a horse with him. James, who's your new friend?
Tim, I thought I'd give you a nice surprise for you and your viewers this morning. This is the brother to Memo, who's one of the top chances for today's fillies 2-year-old race. He's by Stay Inside, who won a Golden Slipper himself, and he's one of the prize offerings coming up for the Inglis Melbourne Premier Sale this week.
Oh, wow. Have you already gone and put your initials on him and said, I'll take this one home, thank you very much?
Well, we're certainly falling in love. But there's plenty of admirers, so I'll have to be working hard on this one.
He's a gorgeous type and very well behaved too there. How's it looking there? Because you've had a busy little shopping period with the Inglis sales.
Yeah, look, it has. It's been a busy time of year. Of course, we're now in the sales mode, so we're looking through all these yearlings from January right through to April, with the next 2-year-old racing in mind, which of course we're kicking off with today at Randwick, and some serious Golden Slipper lead-ups.
Yeah, and as we've been saying this morning, we'll have a better snapshot of what's going to happen in the Golden Slipper after the Skyline and the Sweet Embrace. Let's start with the Skyline and your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, look, it's a really interesting race. It's obviously, if you win, you're into the Golden Slipper. We've personally got Valedictorian, who's a very promising colt by Zoo Star. He's going to be hitting the line hard today. Whether he's first up for the preparation, so whether he's wound up enough to win, time will tell, but we've got a sort of Sires Produce campaign set out for him. We're, of course, going to see Shaggy, who's just a wonderful story. He's a real old-school Australian speed, tough horse. He's travelled all around the country. He's travelled into different states. He's just been very dominant in everything he does. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to learn a lot more. They've been mixing their form, these 2-year-olds, the last month. So a lot's going to be, in terms of the Golden Slipper betting, we're going to learn a lot today.
And what about Memo as well? You touched on Memo a little earlier.
Yeah, Memo is a fantastic filly. She was a bit unlucky. She got held up for room in the Magic Millions in January, and just got her momentum taken out of the run. Otherwise, she would have made it very interesting. She's a fantastic filly. She's by Capitalist. She's actually very close to our heart. She was bred by the Love family, who we have a wonderful association with, and she was actually purchased from us by us as a weanling. And we've had her the whole way through as a broodmare, and she went to, of course, Capitalist. So the Love family have not only raised her from a weanling, but they raised Capitalist, and this is they've retained a very big stake in this filly, having been sold as a yearling for $350,000, and it's just been a terrific ride, and it's just wonderful to see the whole thing come full circle.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's Memo at Wyong, of course, and a relative in your arms there in Melbourne, James. Now, James McDonald, we've been talking about him today, and people that go and put a couple of dollars each way on a horse anywhere today at Randwick often will look to the name James McDonald and they'll just go boom. They don't even look at the horse's name sometimes. In your eyes, like, this is your life, this is in your blood, how good is this bloke?
Yeah, look, it's a...
I think we just lost James.
Starting point when you start with James McDonald on your horse. He's just terrific. He's just different level. He's got an incredible mind for racing. He's got a very cool demeanour, and he's just an incredible athlete. We've spent some time together over the years, and whether he jumps on a motorbike, a surfboard, a golf club, he just does it to the highest level. He's just one of those people, and he's just got an amazing affinity with horses, and he's got an amazing way to get the very best out of them. So he's a wonderful guy, and he's someone we should celebrate very much. And it's wonderful to see him being so dominant on such a world stage.
Speaking of wonderful affinity, I was about to say you're doing very well to stand there throughout an entire live television interview with this horse. You're doing very, very well, James. One more question. What is it about this autumn carnival, a huge carnival coming up over the coming weeks, headlined by the Slipper in the next couple of weeks as well, but what is it about this time of year that you love?
we might have lost James there. James, can you hear us? I think we've just lost James.
I jinxed him.
It happens sometimes, but the pictures were fantastic. And let's keep having a look at these shots of the autumn, because it is a fantastic time of year, and the weather just starting to get a little bit cooler. And we've got the championships, we've got the Golden Slipper. We'll know more about the Golden Slipper today. And
I love this time of year. I love this time of year.
Hopefully the humidity will go as well.
Oh, yeah. I think we can get rid of that here in Sydney. If you are heading to the track today as well for Very Elegant Stakes, it's worth noting a little touch of red is what they're asking the ATC, just to pay tribute to the champion herself. Well, one of the reasons we call this show Racing Dreams is because they do come true. In fact, we are seeing one unfold at the moment on the central coast of New South Wales, just north of Sydney. We've mentioned the name a few times already this morning.
Yeah, 2-year-old gelding Shaggy is looking for 4 in a row in the Skyline. I travelled up the freeway to catch up with trainer Alan Keogh, who is dreaming big. He's dreaming of a slipper. So, Alan, this is an amazing story.
Yeah, I'm just a lucky one, I guess. It's like winning a lottery ticket. From day one, he showed us he had a bit, and then he just keeps on getting better.
What about that first win in Coffs Harbour, his maiden? Tell us about that.
There weren't many 2-year-old races sort of floating about it. Anyway, I thought, he's Bob's horse, and out the time I thought, you go up there and win like five races if I place him right out the bush. Yeah, he won by 5. I was tipping 10, to tell the truth.
The favourite Shaggy shaken up. It raced about 4 lengths in front over What a Rush to second, followed by Smoky Saint, but it's a breeze to Shaggy. First out, first home Shaggy, a mile too good. On debut wins by 6.
Then off to the Sunshine Coast, and that was another good win.
Yeah, that was a real gutsy win, and I thought a bit better than I expected. So he got softened and he went on with the job. So it was a real good, and both jocks times told me they both had the same opinion. He's a pretty serious horse. So.
2 Bell up on the outside, but Shaggy going well. Second Jaggery, but Shaggy with 100 metres left to go is well clear. Jaggery can't get to Shaggy, and Shaggy's too good.
And off to Broadway he went. He went to Sydney and he got the job done.
He went another level again, and he actually, on the line, he looked like it was easy and fun for him.
It's Shaggy in front from Paladin, who hasn't got there yet. Shaggy's going well. It's kicked away, Shaggy. From Paladin, Skyhook Comedy very late, but Shaggy led all the way.
What about his personality? He looks full of personality.
Oh, legend. Say to everyone, he's like a human being. As you can see, he's pretty laid back these days. He was named Shaggy for a reason, because he was pretty friendly with the girls and the fillies and stuff, but now he's a bit of a lad. He's a bit of a smoocher now. He just wants to sort of smooch up on everyone. He's not real big, as you can see when the pony's standing beside him, but he's very muscular horse, and he must have a big ticker in there or something, because he can run.
What about the Skyline? Of course, it's a big one for him today at Randwick.
The way he's come through this race, he's telling us he's not tired, or he still wants to be in, and he's happy. The 1200, I reckon he'll really relish the 1200. If he goes into it like with the same attitude as the other day, he should be thereabouts.
He's not in the slipper yet. He's not nominated, but you guys are prepared to pay it.
I'd love to see him go and dominate the race like he did the other day. He's coming up against a few better ones, but if he can put him to the sword or just run a good second or third and know that he still wants to be there, comes home, eats up and whatnot, that's when we'll say we're going to slipper.
Racing dreams do come true, eh?
Yeah, it's all been a dream. So I've had a couple of little ones, but I just don't want to get ahead of myself. Just keep it simple. If he gets there, he gets there. If he happens to win it, mate, that's a dream come true.
Great to have your company. This is Racing Dreams, our first episode of the autumn, and we'll be here for a number of weeks all through the Golden Slipper, the championship. Today, it's the first Group 1 race of the year with very elegant stakes and surround stakes. And to break it all down is Nick Burney from Sky Racing, freshly married. How are you, Nick?
I'm very good. Hello to you, Tim, Julie. Yeah, everyone watches.
Congratulations.
I know. It's a month in and we're still going well.
That's good.
So that's a good start.
Timmy's about to hit 20 years.
20?
Yeah, come back in a few years.
Yeah, I was going to say, any notes of experience?
It's too late now, mate.
Yeah, be a good listener.
Yeah, I've heard that actually a lot. So, but on the meeting today, it's good to be back. I can't wait, and I'm quietly confident. I'm pretty happy with my tips today. So I think we can get some cash, which we need. First Group 1, Via Sistina, best horse, in my opinion, I think everyone's opinion, in the country.
Yeah.
I think she gets back in the winner's stall today.
All right, let's have a look at I've got the pen and paper out. I like to write these down. Who's your best bet today? Who are we going with?
The best bet has to be, for me, is race 9, number 9, With Your Blessing. So on the vision here, it's the horse on the outside in the yellow colours. Now, the market, it is on the third line of betting. I've got this horse clear favourite, so it has to be the best for me. But Alicia Collett rode this day. She just travelled up so well. And up the rise there at Randoming, when asked for acceleration, she just goes bang, puts them away with a lot of ease there. It ran one of the meeting's fastest final 200 metres. But what I liked was also it ran good time against the day. And have a look at the margin back to second. There's a little margin to third. I think it gets in the exact same position as what it did there, or they could even take cover today and find that 1-1 position, which is great as well. And I think it should be clear favourite and clearly the best on the day for me.
Now, my Uncle John Gilbert, former copper, 82 years of age, watches this program every Saturday, mad punter, loves it, loves the horses, always has. Amelia's Jewel is his best.
Yeah, well, if it's not today for Amelia's Jewel, I don't know when it is, because it is D-Day for Amelia's Jewel. And the thing for me, though, about her is today is she has the tactical advantage over her rival. So Alencia, who, in my opinion, is her second main rival, and the market says that as well, is probably going to have to snag all the way back to last. Whereas Amelia's Jewel, you get James McDonald on for the first time. I think they roll forward, sit outside the leader. It's going to take a lot of catching. So this is a trial. She's had the 2 trials. This is over the 1,000 metres. We'll give her a nice grounding here for today. But this heat was won by Private Harry, who's favourite for the Galaxy. It's in the market there for the TJ. So these horses winning the trial are very sharp types, but she had so many ratings, the way I do my form, that wins this race today. McDonald on, as I said before, rolls forward, and she's adaptable. She's got acceleration as well. So I think she's the one who can just go bang, put them away at between the 400 to 200. Alencia, the danger will be running on, but I think it'll be all too late.
What kind of price is Amelia's Jewel?
$2.30, so short, but I think that's fair enough. I thought she was an evens chance in the old terms, a coin toss.
Okay.
And I have J-Mac on board too. That's a nice little boost for the cause. Race 10, you've got one as well that you like.
Yeah, look, my roughie got scratched, and I've come up with Kings Valley as my other pick for today, and this was back in Melbourne. So this horse is flying this preparation. So it had 7 runs this preparation. It's won 3, and it's been placed in its other 4 runs. So it's consistent as they come. Sat outside the leader there, always faced the breeze in a genuine tempo. Another one of these horses where I like they can accelerate off the speed like that. And that's what he did today in Kings Valley. So the horse that beat him, Revelare, I think it's a very nice time. I think it's a group level horse, and he's Kings Valley battling away. So the horse it has to beat, I think there's only 2 hopes in the race, is Birdman. And Birdman has to give this horse 6 kilos in weight. So yes, Chris Waller for Birdman, second up, but I think that horse will improve over further. It's more a Sydney Cup type. So Kings Valley probably will sit near behind the speed, and I think we'll just have that little map advantage as well over Birdman.
What about in these very elegant stakes and the surround stakes? Which way are you going?
Well, for the feature race, how do you get past Via Sistina? Look, I know with Chow Wolf coming out this morning, you're going to have to take a short price, but I just have to tip her. Look, I think $1.65 she is now. I think that is her right price. So that you could even mark her shorter. She'll
win though, won't she?
She'll win. I think she'll win. McDonald back on today. I know we kept talking about that man, but he makes such a big difference to these horses. Look, she just crammed for a run here between that 400 to 200 metres when Chow Wolf came up the outside. This is over 1,400 metres. Her best is 2,000. But the 1,600 metres, look, she gets through the line here. She ran the fastest final 200-metre split of this race. She goes through the line full of energy. if she gets anywhere, I don't. She won't. Her peak run will be the Queen Elizabeth, obviously. But that Cox Plate win, I can never get it out of my head. If she gets anywhere near that, she can regress and still put them away easy today. So the best for today though is race 9, number 9. Next best, Amelia's Jewel, race 6, number 1. Other bet that we can have now. I hope we're winning coming to the last. We don't have to blast out.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
That would be
Race 10, number 14, Kings Valley and V Sistina. Look, it'll probably go in everyone's multi. Race 8, number 8. But I did write, Tim. I know you like a roughie.
I do like a roughie because I always ask this question because it's Saturday. It's one of everyone's favourite days, and people like having a little bit of takeaway. And sometimes if they get a bit of a win,
well, I think we might be able to start early. I've got this horse second pick, but it's actually Mailata. So in race 1, number 10, it's named after Jordan Mailata, who just won the Super Bowl.
Big man.
So I think you might be able to come down the outside and run a good race.
So what's its name again?
Mailata.
Mailata, what kind of price?
17, 16.
16.
Second pick, but I think it's over the odds.
And Lady Shenandoah to win the...
I honestly think half of Australia will be on the Lady Shenandoah v Sistina multi.
Absolutely.
And I asked J-Mac last night at Canterbury and he said he just didn't say no comment, so that meant very confident.
Yeah. Good on you, Nick. Thank you so much,
See
mate.
you, Nick. And thank you, of course, to our great sponsors at Racing New South Wales. That is F1 done and dusted for the autumn. We'll see you next week.
See you then.